right, everybody. It is the Jere Metcalf podcast where top agents tell how they do it. Today, we have back Becky Frey in Dallas, Texas with Compass. Becky, thanks for coming back on the show.
Hi, Jere. Thanks for asking me. I love seeing you.
Love having you.
Holidays.
So last interview, we learned kind of your big story, how you became successful. And really, we brought you back because you have probably the best marketing I've ever seen and branding.
Oh my God. You're so sweet.
So we're going to take today.
I can't take the credit for that except for, I take the photos. I get in the photos.
There we go.
It takes a village to get it all pulled together, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what we want to learn about.
All right, let's go.
Tell us about the village. Tell us about getting it together. But I want to go backwards a little bit because we all come into real estate kind of the same. We're brand new. And this is for everybody, successful, not successful, or new or not new, or veterans or whatever. But you come in. Did you come in with just knowing you were going to create this kind of marketing? Well, let's pause. Her marketing campaign, everybody. It's got this. We should have brought some of your pieces. Do you have some consistent?
We can grab a piece. We'll grab one or two.
What's that?
We'll go grab some. Have them in a minute.
But my favorite is the one that you've got about being a realtor, and it's like marketer, negotiator, therapist, consultant, dog
we did
walker.
that for a while, and then everybody started copying it, so we had to quit.
Right, that's okay. And you just come up with something new.
Right. So that's part of it. I think for us is always trying to stay ahead of the curve, but we like to be very approachable and friendly, professional. But my ads, really I like to focus on that people look at it and can relate and feel like, gosh, I'd like to call them. They look friendly and fun and
like they know you before they call you.
Right.
So before you had all this great marketing, what kind of give us where you were and what happened that this unfolded and it came into action, and then I want to learn a little bit more about how you made it happen and how the team makes it happen.
Okay. Well, I've been in real estate for over 30 years, so marketing has evolved, as I've been in it so long. But in the last, I would say 12 years, print in Dallas is very strong. I know some markets don't use print as much as we do, but it's a big part of our budget that we manage every year. And I do have a marketing manager, Lauren, who kind of facilitates everything that we do, which is great. We do use an outside agency for some design materials along with Compass. And so they kind of establish our brand, how we want to look. We'll do a fresh, look every couple of years. And
but here's what I want to know. We still got to get this question. Tell us, you came into real estate 30 years ago, no marketing, and 30 years later, you've got basically an ad agency, consistent branding. You're known for your branding. It goes out. You're doing over $100 million a year with the team in place, and it's all running. But before you got there, let's go back in time to no marketing.
Okay.
How did you initiate it? And then I want to find out how you kind of got through this to get where you are now. So tell us a little bit about your experience before marketing.
So before marketing, I think let's say pre-crash. So pre-2008, maybe. Let's say that. So it was a lot of, some print, lots of mailers, dropping gifts by to clients. Client touch was big. Postcards, I think, were really a big part of my business back then. And I think everybody did that. And then as the magazines evolved in Dallas and they've become we have slick, beautiful magazines here, which a lot of you probably have in there too. You have Lux and Paper City and what else do we use a lot?
We use Modern Luxury Interior.
Modern Luxury, every once in a while D. But so I started, after the market kind of came back and it, we picked back up, and I set a budget first and said, okay, so for this year, my budget is going to be this.
Oh, wait, before the market, you just kind of popped by, sent some postcards, but there was nothing to
Yeah.
And then you came out and you
lots of handwritten notes.
Okay.
Which I think,
you do what most people consider marketing. I want to get across to everybody, like you were already doing marketing, but now we're taking it to a whole new level with Becky Frey.
Okay. So then when the market picked back up and we kind of started blasting off again, I set a budget, and then we started our buy. So we already have our buy done for next year. So we set our budget and said we want to be in so many magazines. And I think when I first started, you buy your placement. So my placement probably wasn't as great as it is today, but I started getting my foot in the door in some of the magazines. And then, and I would plan out how many postcards I was going to do a year. And that was before social media, really. So it was really about those two. But
focus was postcards and magazines in 2008.
Postcards and magazines and still handwritten notes. So look, I think the key is consistency. So if your budget is not huge at this point in time for someone, or if they, you start with what you can work with. But I think the key is getting a plan, a budget, and go from there. But you've got to be consistent. If you're going to, you need to do something if you're going to pick an area that's going to be your area, then own that area, be that person. And whether it's your neighborhood or whatever, I mean, it's simple things like you walk your dog every day in the neighborhood. So you see everybody, you talk to everybody. That's like gold compared to just sending out a postcard. So I think there's lots of little things that people can do. But as my business grew, we started buying better placement. We like to be inside cover, back cover. We really try to, focus on that. We still do postcards. We do lots of social media. We Instagram, Facebook, and I think that's evolved also, like how we use those social media tools. And I think you've evolved yours also. I think we all have kind of learned on what works, tracking it all the time to see what is the best. And when someone calls me, I ask them, I said, thanks for calling, and where'd you get my name? And they say, oh, I saw you in whatever magazine. I'm like, okay, well, that's working. So I think it's really important to ask people, because they love to give you that idea.
Exactly. So let me ask you, what was the difference between where you were before with kind of normal marketing? What was the thing that happened that triggered you to change, and what's the difference since?
Well, when I started putting systems together and really running it like a business as opposed to just selling real estate, when I really put it in that place and made a business, made a marketing plan, made a budget, and then as my business grew, my marketing budget grew. And you can start tracking it. You can say, okay, wow, my price point has grown, or my number of sales has grown, or my number of listings have grown. And so you track that at the end of every year and see how you're progressing. And also start tracking where those leads are coming from. If they're referrals, then your business should be a lot of, drop by gifts or do things for clients. I mean, I just happen to get a lot of recognition from print.
But something you said when we started was approachable, friendly, professional, and relatable.
Right.
So I say that because when you say that, I'm like, you're dead on. It's not an opinion. That's your marketing every single time.
Thank you.
How did you establish that? I think a lot of people do marketing and they create one piece at a time and they all kind of look good, but you wouldn't even know they don't really have this consistent brand or consistent look across the board. Right. And they go out, sometimes somebody will send out 5 postcards one month and it'll be 6 months and maybe they might send another one.
Right.
So how did you create a consistent look? Let's talk about the consistent look, and then I want to talk about just the consistent activity. You've talked a little bit about that, but I want to find out more about who does what and how do you really do it. Okay. But how did you establish that image, and how do you create marketing that maintains that same consistent image, even though everything you do is unique and fresh and different at the same time?
Well, I think we do a new photo shoot every year, but I think with that we really look at how we're going to be dressed, and does it look approachable but still professional. And I think that we spend a lot of time with that. The outside agency that we use really kind of comes up with, let's have Instagram look like this, your Facebook should look like this, your ads are going to be this in some sort of a fashion all year long. And so at the start of the year, we've kind of created a new, don't you think? A new image of how we want to look that year.
So is this your marketing director? Your
Lauren's on here. We're chatting.
Hey, Lauren.
Hi.
We should have Lauren on the show. That's the secret sauce right there.
I'm just the one that kind of goes, oh, I like that. But no, I do have, I have definitely opinions on how things I want them to look.
So where do you come in and where do you go out? Because you really are a real estate agent and you're spending a lot of time with your clients.
Right.
And buyers and sellers. You're very active. You're not somebody, some people have more of a model if they're a little bit more behind the scenes. Right. So to be able to do that and still have such a great marketing plan in place that's so consistent in how often it goes out and what goes out as well as your look, how are you able to manage that? Kind of give us is it all Lauren or do you have different?
Lauren is really the marketing manager, so she handles everything. And so I think you have to find somebody that you trust. And if it's somebody in your office that you have a marketing, person that's appointed to you, find someone that you really feel comfortable with. I think gets to know you, knows your personality. So I think trying to put your personality into your marketing really helps. And if you're a really serious person, you're going to have like some real professional, serious, marketing. I don't tend to be the most serious person in town. So my marketing tends to be a little more, I'm trying to get them to do an ad right now with some Bitmojis in it, and they're kind of like, "Are you kidding me?"
Wait, say that with some what?
Some Bitmojis in it, like following me down the road or something. I'm like,
"Oh, I love it!" So you think of a lot of this stuff too.
I'll think of something like, "Let's do this," or "Let's do that." Yeah.
So do you think it's been more of a, because was there a point? Did you just have somebody do it from the beginning, or did you stay involved until you kind of got the image figured out and everybody got to know what you liked and then you were able to let it go a little bit more? And how much time do you spend on it now?
Well, I can pull up some of marketing from 20 years ago, and some of it kind of still rings true to today. I had the professional shots, and I had some casual shots where I had, my dog with me or my son. And so I think you use some of these as you kind of evolve your career and if you have children, if you use them in, particular ads or a mailer or something. I think you have to target your marketing materials to your audience for the time.
Oh, great statement. Target your marketing materials for your audience of the time.
Yeah.
I think that's a great thing is who's your ideal client? First of all, ask yourself every single time something goes out, what do I want people to see every time? Is this approachable and professional, relatable and friendly? If it's not approachable, professional, relatable, and friendly, we need to make sure it is before it goes out.
Right.
And now that we're talking about that, well, who is it approachable, friendly, professional, and relatable to? Making sure it speaks to those people, not that you want to be your clients. So for you, who is that? How did you determine that and who that ideal client is? I think a lot of people in real estate think, I just want everybody to be my client.
Right.
I can just get a client, I'll take them whoever they are. And it's backing off and saying, no, who am I actually, because I can't be an expert on every piece of real estate in the country, real estate, but what can we be experts in? How did you narrow that down and answer that question to apply to your marketing?
Of who my market is? I think, so for me, I first started out, a lot of my business for years and years was open houses. And I could pick up a lot of business. A third of my business, at least every year, would be people I met at open houses.
Wow, that's because you're so approachable and friendly.
I tracked that for years. But, I enjoy open houses. So that was a big part of my business. And I immediately wrote notes and I added them to my marketing list. And so my list started growing, and then it was, I did Buffini so many people have done Buffini in their life, and he's all about relationships. And pop buys and all of his little things he does. So I did that for years, and it just kind of grows a consistent client base. I think some of the people you're going to meet at open houses or wherever you go do something with, they just kind of fade out after a while if you don't really stay connected to them. And, I think, we all, you just have to, if you're in school and you want that to be your marketing group, or if you're involved in some charity, which we all know, we all are involved in so many things. And we certainly sponsor a lot of things every year, which is a whole nother part of marketing. That's a whole nother arm, I think. But, I think you have to, is it your neighborhood? You know, is it, you just have to kind of figure that out.
Figure it out. What's your lifestyle? What do you want your ideal client to be? And how is there a gap there? And if there is, how do you make them meet, or how do you readjust what you're doing to meet who that ideal client is?
Right.
So, and I would imagine that from the beginning of your career 30 years ago to now, that client has probably become more sophisticated, better price point. Has it become, as over time, has your focus on your ideal client become more narrow or more broad?
You know, I think that certainly my sphere has grown over the years, you know, especially as, you know, like Natalie's come on the team and she's been selling, and there's people join the team and they add a few people, and then I'm always meeting more people. So it's grown. And obviously, you know, I was selling all my friends their first and second homes, like a lot of us start out. And then they moved, you know, I've moved some people 5, 6 times. You know, now they call me and I'm selling their kids' houses, you know, which it's fun. That's the fun part of our careers. Like you watch a family grow up, and then you watch them, they leave, you know, leave their big house and they go to something smaller, and then they start having grandkids. They want to go to something bigger again. It's fun. But I do think, you know, just, you know, like I was delivering gifts yesterday.
I saw those fabulous cookies. Do y'all have any on the table that you can show us with the team's photo? They're awesome.
She's going to go grab one.
And they're famous. People may have fuss over those cookies. And they gotta get their cookies.
I'm going to do it on a Sunday afternoon so I can knock on the door and say hi to people. I mean, people love that. They love you to take the time to stop by, knock on the door and say, hey, just wanted to say happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever. And it's, you know, I get just as much joy out of it as they did, you know, because they were just like, oh my gosh, you want to come in and see the kids' rooms because we just moved in and got settled, or, you know, look how big they've gotten in the last few years. So,
Yeah.
you know, we grow up with our clients, and it's really, it's fun. And that's just as important a part of marketing, I think.
Exactly. So if you would share with us, what is either your biggest lesson or one of your biggest mistakes and the biggest lesson you got to improve and expand on marketing?
I think the biggest mistake was before I really made a plan. So I was just haphazard marketing. You know, oh, someone would call you and say, we'd love you to be in our publication. Great. And you do like one time in there. And then you go do another publication. And you say, oh, you know, I'm going to send a mailer over here. You know, like you might go sell a house in some neighborhood, and it's probably not a neighborhood you really want to ever sell again.
Mm-hmm.
You go ahead and send a sold card. I'm like, probably not. You know, it's, or market to that area. So I think that's the biggest thing, was just really honing in and being consistent. I keep saying consistency is the key, but it is the key. So
I say, you go ahead.
You pick the print or whatever it is in your city. You know, I just keep saying Dallas is really big on print. We have so many different things. And so, you know, I am consistently in like 3 different publications, but people know when they open up, they're going to look for me, and they'll see the team. I do a lot of individual marketing. I do a lot of my whole team. So it gives them exposure, you know, as a group, and it just makes people talk about it more. They're like, oh, so-and-so's on your team. We love her. And, you know, it just adds more of something that people can just, you know, talk to you about. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So I love it because you keep talking about honing in and being consistent. I think it's, and tell me, but what I hear is honing in on your brand and honing in on your client and who that is. And consistency is consistency in your brand and what it is, but consistently getting in front of, not just consistently doing stuff, but consistently doing stuff in the same way with the same image and the same look and the same general message of how it's making people feel, but even more importantly, to the same people.
To the same people. And
again, go ahead.
I said, again, don't forget to ask people where they got your name or where they saw you, or if you're at an open house, how'd you find my open house? You know, I mean, that's a big key too. You know, if they saw it on, you know, Facebook or Instagram, or they see it in print somewhere.
Know where it came from.
Yeah. I mean,
and I get a lot of showing requests from agents from my social media posts that their clients are seeing.
So many people, you know, will see something on Instagram and
even postcards.
You have to ask people, and that's really how you start kind of honing in on what's working for you.
So how do you, when you, like you told me, 3 publications consistently, that's pretty heavy. did you start with one, or how did that evolve, and how did you know which magazines to be featured in?
I started with one that would just kind of work for the crowd of people that I was, that's my sphere. Something I thought they would pick up. Obviously, if you're not an art enthusiast, don't advertise in the art magazine. You know what I mean? So I picked it. And like we have a newspaper here called the Katy Trail Weekly, and that's a kind of urban trail. That's a hiking, biking, walking, running trail. It's great. But
yeah,
I was on the board for 13 years and helped start the Katy Trail and raise the money, get it involved, and it's been fun. So I take the full back page of the Katy Trail Weekly every week, and I've done that for a couple of years. And sometimes it's all houses, sometimes it's just about the team. It's different things, and it's a publication that's in every restaurant all over the place. It's in every nail place. It's in all the gyms. So, it's not a super expensive publication, but it's a great piece for me, and it works for my clientele.
That's
and for
awesome.
people that don't even know me, I'll have people call me and say, where'd you get my name? They're like, I keep seeing the back of that little magazine, that little newspaper. I don't know what it's called, I'm like, okay, yeah.
It's imprint. And I think sometimes when you put on, don't tell me, but the social media and the postcards, because you keep targeting the same people, so they're seeing you, and sometimes they don't remember where, but they're seeing you over and over consistently, and you're giving them the same message. You're making them feel like you're approachable and you're professional and relatable and friendly.
You get to know you through your marketing.
And they really feel like they know you. There's a quote, never talk to anyone until they know you're someone. And that kind of establishes that for you in the marketing. So how do you, when you base, I'm going to got a couple more questions for you. And then I want to ask you my final three, but how do you, what does your schedule look like every year? Like every year, do you know you're going to be in 3 publications and you're going to send out X many postcards and you're going to do this many social media posts, or do you do it per listing, or is it a combination, or what's the formula?
We definitely we already know how many publications we're going to be in for next year.
Mm-hmm.
And then we set a budget on how many postcards we're going to send and start kind of planning that out. And then I'll meet with, the other people on my team who do sales, which it's just been Natalie for the last few years, but Elizabeth just rolled from listing coordinator to sales. So I'll sit with her and I'll say, okay, let's talk about your plan for the year. And so then I'll sit down with them and then really help them kind of hone in on, what they want to do so they start becoming consistent, because that's what I'm trying to help them with also. So then we have our postcard set up. Then Instagram, we do a lot of, I think we're always learning from that too. I mean, I read things all the time. I'm always reading like, when's the best time to do Instagram? What's the best thing to post? What gets the most, likes, and how many times, how long will people stay on a video? What's the best thing about video? And
tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I think, we're kind of getting more into video right now. But whenever I use one, like we video a house or whatever, I think it has, we've learned that which music is better for certain videos. And I think they found that like, it's kind of a calming, spa-ish type music. People seem to stay longer, And so there's all these kind of little keys that you have to like learn to use and so that's why I think you always have to be learning and reading and
always learning, always being a step ahead of the curve, always being consistent.
Right.
So do you strictly just set a budget and base your plan on budget, or do you adjust? Like some people are like, well, if every time I get sold, I'm just going to send out a sold postcard, or do you have one postcard go out every month that has the solds on it, or is there any formula like that you can help us kind of grasp it? Because you have so many sales.
I think so. I live in a certain neighborhood called Devonshire, and it's kind of like my little hub. I love Devonshire, and so I do consistent mailers to that neighborhood. And it might be a letter sometimes. It might be a postcard that talks about what I'm listing or what I've sold, or I think stats on the neighborhood, what's going on. What people love to know the latest scoop, like
yes, they do. Yeah.
The house that just sold in this year, or what happened this quarter, or people love like, things that weren't in MLS, but that said it's okay for you to market it and tell us, that it was just sold. You don't have to say the price maybe. And then everybody calls you because they're like, What was the price on
What
that?
is it?
Yeah. So I think it's like creating something that makes a call to action, and people love to be, like they're in the know.
Exactly. And well, they're in the know and you're in the know and everybody wants to be with somebody in the know. So, all right. So we're going to start wrapping this up. I always do my final three. And we've done this with you, but this is going to be as it pertains to marketing in this interview. Okay. What do you feel like is the one marketing tool that has worked better for you than anything else you've done? I love how you're like, Laura, what is that?
It's most effective. I think the back covers.
I'm trying to think. I'm looking around some of our pieces here.
Show us one if you've got one in front of you.
There's the cookies, and we have a fun one.
Oh, I love it. We got to get close to the camera so we can really see what that's all about. That is so, look at the team.
So, it's
love that.
We had Santa hats put on everybody to make it kind of, funny. And then, so here's one that we just did in Scout magazine. Do y'all have Scout there?
We don't, no.
Here's one that we're in a kitchen in a home. We've got the dog, and it's just
everybody, look at how personable. That does not look like real estate agents. That looks like model. Wait, show us that one more, because that is it's so personable. It's so real. It's professional, friendly, approachable, and I forgot the other one, relatable. I mean, that's exactly what y'all are. It's beautiful.
And then we'll do, when we made our exciting move to Compass. So
yes.
Here's one. So this is same team, new home.
Love that.
On the front, and then we'll do, solds on the back. But they're always professional, and I have a mixture of and the team are on the the card. So everybody gets a little bang for the buck when we send this.
That's same team, new home. That's brilliant. So who gets credit for that?
The marketing group that we use, they came up with that. They
came up with that. That's brilliant because that is relatable and professional at the same time. It's just like everybody moves, so did y'all.
Right.
So it's great.
It's business as usual. We just have we've moved to a new home.
Right. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Same team, new home. That is lovely. And did you elaborate on the new home, or did you just leave it at that and talk about your listings?
I think then everyone started calling. They're like, oh, on the back of the card, we have properties. But, I think when we sent that out, I had so many people call me or email me and go, oh my gosh, you made a move. This is so exciting. And I run into people in town and they wanted to ask me about it. And they said, we just saw that you moved. I saw that same team, new home. And so it was kind of catchy. So we've kind of used that for the last couple of months. It's been good.
That's brilliant. I love that. So did you tell us the total yet? What was the total?
The total.
The marketing tool that you like the best of everything.
The marketing tool. That's the total. We had the back cover of a couple magazines, and so I think and that has taken me years to evolve to that getting that spot and being able to pay for that spot. But that's the one where I think people really comment the most, because they'll see it like around, or they're sitting in restaurants, or it comes to their house, and they, you instantly are going to see the back,
Is this on a magazine that's like the running magazine, or is this something more?
It's like a pretty magazine, like Paper City or Lux or one of those. So that's been cool.
So being on the back of a magazine, I'd love that. In Dallas, that really is making an impact for you. Because so many people look at it.
It's been really impactful for us. And more people will say, I saw your, ad on the magazine. And so, it just makes them think of us.
Exactly.
And again, it's like, if you're not at the point where you're going to do that, pick your publication, get a consistent spot in there. You may say you want to be right next to some special thing that's in that magazine every month that people are going to look at, whether it's just the social scene page or it's pick the spot and keep that spot for like a year so that you start being consistent in that publication in the same location. And so there's consistency for the people who are going to look at it.
I love that. And make it good, because your marketing is brilliant.
All right.
As it relates to marketing, you usually ask for a book, but I'm going to ask you, it could be a book or it could be a person, but who and what has made the most influence on your marketing, brand, image, consistency, everything that you're doing? Or is there a book you would recommend we read to understand it?
There's a book. I don't think there's a book. I think it's just, I'm constantly looking at other people's, what they're doing everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Swoon, the studio that we use for marketing.
How about Lauren?
Well, I'll say Lauren, but I'm saying with Swoon.
Lauren likes that.
And then Lauren, you didn't let me finish. So Swoon comes up with our concepts, and then we say, this is where we're going to put it. This is where we want to be. And then she's the one. She goes and she gets that placement. She's like, this is where we want to be. And so she has gotten us to these great locations in magazines and publications.
So how about this? What do you think, or what was Lauren saying?
She was just saying, I think, you're always reading, just on, I'll go to seminars, or, I have a coach, I use a coach that kind of keeps me thinking, what I need to be doing next, what's it going to look like next year? What's your plan for next year? And when you're making your goals and your plan and what you want to sell or whatever it is, in that it's your marketing plan. So I think, whether you're reading a book about team building or just, The One, I think that's a great book. I mean, you and I talk about books all the time.
One Thing, Gary Keller.
Yeah, he's got a great book.
That's a great one.
I'm reading Good to Great right now, which I think it's not necessarily about real estate, but it's just about.
But it's business. It's all the same.
It's a great book.
Business coach, you want to share it? I think that's, who's their business coach?
Liz Bentley.
Right. She's been on the show. My favorite from Liz is, we all tend to come from a place of scarcity, and we are in a world of abundance.
Right. And so Liz really, she's constantly pushing me, and testing me and making me look at what we're doing and think about it. The team, has meetings with her. And so I think, it's everybody needs, I've been in the business over 30 years, but I'll still need someone to keep me accountable, keep me moving forward, being fresh, staying excited about the business, because I love our business. And I think that's what's so great about it. If you love real estate, you can do this for so long, and you can either grow, you can get to a point where you are and you're happy with it and stay there. But it's fun. It's a great career. I just love it.
Right. Well, you can do that, or you can grow, where some people downsize a little bit and simplify. Yeah. But you can always create yourself in your world.
As your business evolves.
Exactly. Exactly. If there is one thing you think has the biggest impact on keeping your marketing, because it's not just about creating it, it's about keeping it going. What is the one thing that you would tell someone that wants to have the best marketing for their business and their goals? What is the most important thing? Is it having the person in place? Is it having the plan? It's all of those, but is there one thing that kind of makes the rest of that happen for you?
I think getting your look and keeping a consistent image, you have different photographs, but keep your image and your, your persona that you're trying to give to the public in your marketing, keep it consistent, because that way people always are looking at you and have the same feeling when they see your ads.
I bet if we did a word count, consistent was used more than anything. Be consistent.
It is.
Just so powerful.
Right.
So, that being said, what is?
You have to have a Lauren. It makes life really easy.
Right. Exactly. Have somebody else do it.
Yeah. And that takes some time too.
It does. Well, find the right person. How do you know you have the right person? I said I was going to have 3 more questions, and I think I've already got 15 more questions. But how do you know you have the right person in place?
Okay, well, one of the things with Liz, we do the DISC assessment. Mm-hmm. And before I hire anyone, they do the DISC assessment, because I may think someone's great, and they can do the DISC assessment, and really they're not the right personality fit for our team for that time or for the position that I'm hiring for. So I take that into account, look at their skills, and they've got to have the right energy and fit for our team. It's like my personality on my team is different than the personality of a lot of other teams, so you've got to I don't know, I always think the people on my team have just kind of come to me somehow, like by referral.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the people I trust who send them to me, and lots of times I just start calling clients and say, hey, I'm looking for a this or a that, a listing coordinator, or I'm looking for a new transaction coordinator. And it just kind of word trickles out, and then people start calling me, and then, it's a gut feeling on hiring, I think. But obviously you want to look at their talent, what they've done to their marketing manager.
Exactly.
I think you need to make it be, it is important to make sure you're getting the right personality fit for your group.
I think that's huge. And I think that's funny because somebody told me a long time ago, it doesn't matter if you like them as long as they can do the job. And I don't think that's true.
No, yeah.
So much of the job is the energy that you have with other people. Yeah. And cultivating that energy is also what's cultivating your brand and your client's experience and everything that makes you successful.
Just think how much time we all spend together. We're all, our team, we're office people, so we're always up here, working and laughing. And, I came up with a couple of funny little Christmas things. You push their feet and they dance, today. And so I came in with one, and Lauren came in right behind me. She goes, look what I just bought. So
I love it.
Things going around.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Great minds, right?
They're coming around. They're like, oh my God, y'all are funny. But I'm like, work hard, play hard. Everybody's
definitely in sync though. That's awesome. All right, so if there's one thing that you want us to take away from this interview on Becky Frey and her powerhouse marketing to make her powerhouse team, what would that be?
Okay, first I'm going to say you've got to set a budget, because you got to know how much you can spend. That's very important. I think so many times, and I was at fault of this for years. If I had a closing and I had some cash, I'd do a mailer. And then, then you're like, oh, I've got this going on. So you need to really set aside some money at the first of the year and say, this is what I'm going to use, and consistently plan your marketing out. Then you decide where you're going to spend those dollars, and then implement a plan, get your style, get your look, get your message that you want to have. You need to have a consistent message out there and put it in place and go for it. It's just, and it doesn't have to be big at first, it's just start with what you can afford.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Start with what you say. Number one, set a budget.
Right.
Number two, decide where you're going to spend the money.
Yep.
Number three, create a plan around that. With a consistent look and style. Yep. And know what your message is going to be and make that consistent.
Keep your message consistent. Right.
So we're going to take that message, and that's our whole podcast. That wraps it up beautifully. Set a budget, where you're going to spend it, make your plan, and when you make that plan and everything you do, your style and look are consistent and your message is consistent.
Right. You got it, girl.
I love it. Thank you so much for coming back.